Hi, everyone. This is Cheryl Lynn, and I am the visionary and founder of the Chair of Joy movement and also the owner of Joyly LLC. And I want to welcome everyone to our very first official J Hour. So I want to just read our quick description about what this is about. And then I will go over what we're going to do during each J Hour, which is scheduled for each Monday, every Monday, for the entire year of 2022. I can't even tell you how excited I am about this process. It's been something I've been thinking about ever since I developed the Chair of Joy and the idea around it, because there is so much interest, so many people in query about if they're doing it correctly, and just really wanting to stay on track with the practice. So super excited to have you all and to continue as we grow and grow and grow. So the description of the Chair of Joy Hour is basically this. The J Hour attracts the coolest, smartest, brightest people who want to connect, collaborate, and catalyze a life that is life fulfilling, filled with joy, and settling for nothing less. We do this together by increasing impact and income from the energized practice of the Chair of Joy. So what we do is we consistently power through our fears, and we do that together, through worry, through doubt, through developing the highest standard of excellence for ourselves personally, and for our work. So everyone will meet everyone, and we welcome a transformational leadership perspective each week from one of our luminaries or Golden Circle Master Coaches. This is a complimentary event, and we invite you to bring a guest. So what we're asking everyone to do is to bring your goals, your ideas, your visions for yourself, for your family, for your life, for your work, and we are going to have really awesome discussions around these. So thank you again for joining the J Hour. And again, it's every Monday at noon Central Time. And you can check Joyly, JOYELY.com for a calendar as we continue building and inviting and hosting some amazing speakers and luminaries. So speaking of that, I would like to invite our guest, Jennifer Cavender, to come to the forefront here and to say hello. Good morning and good afternoon, Jennifer. How are you today?
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm amazing, and I'm joyly this morning to meet with you and to share my perspective on what we're doing.
Great. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I would love for you to share with our audience members. First of all, give a little background about yourself and how we met. Let's start there, and then we're going to jump into two things that I'm dying to know about your Chair of Joy practice.
Yeah, so I spent 21 years as a CPA in a firm that was really a great experience for me. But after 21 years, I realized that there was more within me that I wanted to share with the world. And the way you and I met was a coach that I had worked with about 15 years prior, that was a former CPA and was now an executive coach, was hosting an event that you attended, and you spoke at that event. And when you shared with us this experience of the Chair of Joy, it really connected with what I knew I was building on my own. And I hadn't left that career as a CPA yet. And that was 1 year ago this month. That experience for me, sitting through the Chair of Joy, really helped me to realize that something in my life that actually did bring me joy that I hadn't realized. And for me, it was that word of transition that I connected my two joyful events with, that really helped me realize that this is a practice that is beneficial. And from there, as I practiced it more and more, it became something that really could shift my attitude, shift my feeling, because there are days that you wake up where you just feel blah, right? And to have a process to shift that really became something that was really important to me, and actually what I've now built as of 6 months ago is a coaching and advisory practice where I take leaders and their teams from feeling lost and burnout and stuck to discovering clarity, direction, and more joy that brings them phenomenal results in their businesses. And so, through the connection with you and what I was already dreaming in my head, it became a perfect collaboration. And I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely. And were there from the beginning. You said yes, 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 yes to whatever this chair of joy idea and concept was. And I want to just tell you, I know that when you and I met, you were like, all right, I have a friend in France. I have a friend here. I have a friend I just want to share this with, right? And I think you even did share the chair of joy practice with a couple of people as clients. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd love it if you could tell me how you are using the chair of joy in your current practice.
Yeah. So I initially, after I had been practicing for a while on my own, I initially shared it with two friends that were in my mastermind group. And I said, let me just walk you through this process and see what you think and get your feedback. And they loved it. And so from that, I ended up sharing it at a retreat with my entire mastermind of, at that time, it was 30 women that were physically at that retreat. And my coach had allowed some time to go through the practice, and it was really amazing to see and to watch a transformation in moments. To take people through a process where they're like, wow, that was so easy, but I had never really thought about shifting my mindset to an attitude of joy. And so getting the various feedback of people saying, wow, I never realized that I hadn't recognized moments of joy in my life, or saying, oh, I hadn't recognized that this particular type of moment in my life is joyful. So it was really, really fun to watch a larger group as well as a more intimate group go through the process and have that transformation.
I appreciate that very much. And I know that you had sort of people understanding, like you said, that there's all different kind of emotions that we go through throughout the day, right? And even for yourself personally, right? You're starting a new business, you've been in corporate America for most of your life. So I'm sure that you're feeling, all the things of those components, from chaos to stress to overwhelm to what's possible to, oh, me, like I doubt, like maybe some of that. So how has the chair of joy practice really been impactful for your day on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, definitely. As a new entrepreneur and someone who never saw myself as an entrepreneur until about 2 years ago, it really has been sort of a stabilizing process for me, right? Because you do get this sort of roller coaster of emotions as you're going through something new. You're working through a lot of fear. You're dealing with, even, if you have different things going on with your family and your friends, and different feedback that's coming as you're putting your new message out there. It really became a practice that has stabilized me a bit, and that I can go into my chair of joy and realize, just get some perspective, right? And so that's been extremely helpful for me on a daily basis.
What would you say is your first of all, where is your chair of joy?
My chair of joy is in my living room.
Huh?
My chair of joy is in my living room, and it's right by a window, where I can see out. There's, some plants and usually some birds sometimes. And usually this is I love to do my chair of joy in the early, early morning when nobody has gotten up yet. And then when the house is really busy and I feel I need to go into my chair of joy, I usually choose a chair here in my office. It's comfy over here.
The coolest thing about that is there is no right or wrong chair of joy, right? We're addressing any chair, anytime, any place. And what I've been doing, it's so fun, is I find myself running to my chair of joy or bolting sometimes 2, 3, almost up to 10 times a day. whenever I start sensing a moment of anxiety or overwhelm or chaos or judgment, somebody said something that I was like, what did they mean by that exactly? Right? I literally go over there, and science proves that when we can shift, and neuroscience as well, shift our thinking from what was to what is and raise our level of vibration in our body, we can instantly create a place where we can make better decisions, send different emails, ask different questions, treat our families differently or better. So there's a lot of reasons to sit in your chair of joy often. And so I really appreciate that you're doing that. If you don't mind, I'd like to go through a really short practice, because what I'm encouraging people to do is not necessarily go to your chair of joy once a day, but many times a day. And the objection that I hear is, oh, but that takes a lot of time. I'm busy. I don't have time for that. There's so many obstacles. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you our very four basic principles with the chair of joy. So for everybody listening, well, here's what I want you to do is sit wherever you are, which is perfectly, we'll call that your chair of joy at the moment. And hopefully you're not driving, and just sit. So that's the first one. So I'm just going to use my fist here, if you could see the video. So sit, and that's the back leg of your chair. So everybody's sitting, put your feet on the ground, really sense the anchoring of the chair. You can feel it on your butt, on the backs of your legs, or maybe you're comfy and your legs are rolled up. That's good too. And then the next one is to breathe. So everybody take a deep breath in. One more. And you can instantly feel yourself to relax and calm down and get out of your own head, maybe even develop a new perspective. And the next part is to think. And this is the fun part. Just allow yourself to tap into a couple of moments of joy. So if you're having a hard time, sometimes it's the fact that you have a clean kitchen sink in the kitchen. That's perfectly fine. Or maybe you just went on vacation and you have a fresh memory of that. So I'm going to ask you, Jennifer, what's one memory that comes to mind for you?
The one memory that comes to mind is a fresh memory, because I did just return from a vacation, and it was a time when we were able to actually swim in what's called a cenote in Mexico. And these are underground caves that you are allowed access into, and there's stalagmites and stalactites and fresh water that you're able to swim in. And I was with my family and my close friends.
Love that. So what you heard her say was there was lots of little moments of memories in there. So that's enough moments of memory to just let that resonate. Like that gave me an excitement, just feeling the warmth of the sunshine and everything that was probably going on. So just let that kind of resonate. And this is the work, right? So we did the thinking, we did the sit, the breathe, the think of the two memories of joy, or many, or one, or however many you'd like, whatever makes sense for you. And then to really feel it. And this is where the work is. And it takes a little bit of practice. Can you feel the feeling on the back of your neck, or even goosebumps in your body? Or do you feel the elevated rays of joy in your body, where maybe there's a smile on your face now versus a few minutes ago? So Jennifer, did you feel any of that?
Yes, as I think about that moment, I can feel going from the really warm, humid air into the cool water. And so as I think about it, I can feel that process on my skin.
Beautiful. So that's the chair of joy, right? So simple. Sit, breathe, think, feel, right? And I don't know, that took us a minute and a half or 2 minutes, I guess. It can go faster than that without the two of us talking. But if you're doing that practice on your own, it can literally be done in 10 seconds. And so if there's a moment when you feel like, like I just want to take a nap, or go have a cocktail, or eat that chocolate, or like I have all those things that go through my mind. So right, instead of doing all that, I just run over to my chair of joy. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Like I want to call up whoever I had the memory about and say, oh my gosh, one of my daughters, I was just thinking about you the other day. You were playing the piano in that one room and all the people were clapping. And my kids are like, wow, you remember that? Right. And so it really starts to impact the world. So I just want to thank you, Jennifer, for taking the time and also congratulate you and welcome you into the Golden Circle. So our training for the Golden Circle starts each season of each quarter of the year, and we'll be training 12 coaches. And Jennifer will be one of the very first going through the training process. So you all have already mastered this thing, my friend. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I just wanted to say, as in response to your final comment, a lot of times we reach for our phone or social media as that hit of dopamine when we're in that stressful moment and we don't want to be doing what we need to do. And instead of doing that, if we can refocus to this chair of joy experience, it's actually a healthy shot of dopamine, and it will give you better results in making, as you said earlier, making better decisions going forward.
Absolutely. In just a minute, we're going to go into our breakout session. So as I said, everybody meets everybody. So at this time, I want to ask everybody, but to put your LinkedIn in the chat, we're going to make sure that we do a nice follow-up email so that everyone that was registered gets to meet everyone and has the contact information. Of course, you can always save the chat, right? If we're all Zoom members now and have been doing this for a long time, save the chat and you will have everybody's contact. And then I think the biggest part about that is go ahead and follow up with everyone. Like take the time, take 15 minutes after this conversation and reach out and make the connection and ask for a 15-minute conversation to get to know them. It can be time consuming, but it's also very, very productive in that we are building a new family, right? A network around the Chair of Joy and the Chair of Joy movement. We think that each and every person that is in this network is part of something really ginormous, like literally so much bigger than ourselves. And we really want each and every person to understand what the Chair of Joy practice is, and then also hear about how, when we're doing it together, can impact friends, families, children's organizations to get their missions, their passions to actually become a real thing, or corporations who want to increase their bottom line. Like there is no one where we can't go and say, we are going to prove that whatever problem you have, the Chair of Joy can impact it greatly. And we believe that hands down. And so we're super excited about that. So anyway, we're going to go into the breakout session in just a minute. But before we wrap up with the main part of our show, is there any last final comments from you, Jennifer, before I leave my final comment?
I think I'm just super excited for this year, for 2022. And I'm so happy to have a community that's collaborating on this topic because sometimes you get really great feedback and other times you don't get such great feedback. And so it's really great to have this community.
Awesome. And we love having you. And we love having you getting ready to coach and train people through the process of the Chair of Joy as we grow and grow and grow. So thank you for that. All right, we're going to go into our breakout session in just a minute, but I want to leave you with this. The Global Joy Symposiums are going to be every quarter, and we are collaborating with speakers, partners, companies that have an idea about what we're talking about and how this could impact them, both their impact and their influence. And so we're excited to have conversations with many, many people about how we can work together and collaborate on that. And lastly, our first Joy Global Symposium is March 16th and 17th. And we have just confirmed with Jeff Huffman. We have just confirmed with Jeff Huffman to get together with him and have him come on as our marquee speaker. And Jeff is a incredible serial entrepreneur. He has traveled all over the world, over 50 countries. He is the former CEO of Priceline, UBID, a whole bunch of others. And he has a lot to say about a lot of things. And I got to keep it under wraps a little bit about what we're going to talk about because we're just formalizing it. But be ready for the Global Joy Symposium, the 16th and 17th. It is going to be mind blowing. And then also we're looking to, that one's virtual, by the way. And then there'll be be 3 more throughout the year, and Denver is our in-person physical event. So we're excited about that. So I'm going to leave you with this. I want to talk about sunflowers. We're going to talk a lot about sunflowers during the Global Joy Symposium. I have always been attracted to sunflowers, and I think I just am really excited to use this energy and use the sunflowers and decorations in all the events that we do, because the sunflower is so powerful. So why sunflowers? There are many benefits to the blooming of these cut flowers, mostly the seeds, right? The big flume of sunflowers, and then all the seeds inside. So I like to think of ourselves as a seed in there, right? And that we are this big, bright, beautiful sunflower. So I don't think that we can impact or throw our seeds out into the world if we're not really taking care of our own stems. That means watering, meaning taking time for vacations like Jennifer did, heading out to your chair of joy and taking breaks and really giving yourself the fuel, the light, the conversations around joy, so that you can become this bloom, this powerful, strong bloom that is going to shine the light and spread the seeds on the rest of the world. So that's the first thing, is that that we're the bright sunflower seed, taking care of ourselves, and that we have lots of seeds to share. So also in here is our ability to plant seeds out in the world, so that the birds come, or others, we attract others that come in from these seeds that are now growing and blossoming. And then we also want to put fertilizer on this with each other's company, with our energy, with our light, with our glow. And so I'm super excited to bring the sunflower into the world of the Joyly Enterprise and the Chair of Joy conversation. So I want to thank you all for joining us for the J Hour. We're going to go into our breakout now, but thank you again, and we'll see you every Monday at noon Central Time, and do bring a friend. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.